Friends of Rome, we celebrate the power of man. You will see them race for glory. You will see them fight for honor. You will see them die for you.
Should have stayed away.
You should have killed me.
I will.
Welcome back to The World Over. My next guests produced 2013's massive hit miniseries, The Bible, on the History Channel, as well as the feature film Son of God, which had the second highest faith-based film opening of all time. I sat down with them in Los Angeles to talk about their latest project, a remake of the Oscar-winning first-century epic, Ben-Hur. It hits the big screen internationally on August 12th, and here in the U.S. on August 19th. We chatted about taking on a cinematic icon like Ben-Hur, as well as the film's message of understanding and forgiveness. Here's my exclusive interview with Mark Burnett and Roma Downey. Mark and Roma, 11 Academy Awards for the last Ben-Hur. Was there any trepidation about redoing this after all this time?
Way to set us up there.
Yeah, well, it required a little boldness.
Yes, but you've done that before. I mean, how did these other Bible projects prepare you for this? You've been doing these at a steady clip.
It's the fourth in 4 years. I mean, 2013, the Bible,
Right.
14, Son of God, 15 AD, and then this summer, 2016, Ben-Hur. So, yeah, there's a value to experience, no question. Whether you're playing a sport, race car driving, or making biblical content, there's a value to the experience. And it would have been easy to wimp out when asked by Gary Barber, the chairman of MGM, hey, we'd like you to sign on to help produce Ben-Hur. The easy answer would have been, no thanks, that's too crazy. But clearly, the Lord is moving into a directed a head of a studio to come to us, to offer us to contribute to bringing this epic movie which will reach a young secular audience and attract them, and within it is this message of Jesus.
Why now, Roma? Why is this message, this movie needed now?
Well, you know, I think that now more than ever, this message is really important. We're living in a hurting world. And this movie has been created in a way that it will attract an audience of all ages, because it will be the big summer blockbuster. It's an action adventure movie, and it delivers. It's fantastic.
That's tremendous.
But it holds within its heart this precious message of mercy, of forgiveness, of reconciliation. And while these themes are big and biblical in our story, they are relevant to everybody, because in our own lives, in our own families, we have places where we've had fallings out, where we're mad at your mother, or your father, your sister, your brother, or your husband, or your child. And this movie holds for you an opportunity to move to a place of understanding and forgiveness. And for a big blockbuster film to have the potential to touch people's lives in that way, I think it makes it a movie needed now more than ever.
Mark, as I watched this movie, I thought of your background. I mean, you're a veteran. You served your country. Did that have any bearing on attracting you to this project? I mean, the man at the center of this story is a warrior. He is serving his country, trying to serve with nobility. There is that, the markings on a warrior. And it at times makes it difficult to reintegrate back home, which is something a lot of men and women are having to go through now, here. Does this story at all touch and have a special message for those serving in the military, no matter where they might be?
I would hope that those who have returned from serving, who are veterans, enjoy the movie and also recognize this return home experience. From myself, as you mentioned, I had served, a long time ago, but I like these kind of action movies. I think there's a huge audience, especially a younger audience, that like these epic action movies. And I think that's something, if you're going to put a movie out in the summer, it better be able to appeal to...
Better play big.
Yes. And it better be able to appeal to a young audience that are used to what to compare it to. And so what we have here is not a low budget Christian movie. This is a big budget epic movie.
Studio
that
film.
happens to have a through line of Jesus. And it's interesting, we've heard from other people today who didn't actually know Jesus would be in the film, which is very exciting.
And he's got a much bigger role here than he did in the original. Jesus in the original, or rather the
That's
last
right. Well,
iteration, not the original, the last
In
iteration.
the 1959 film, you didn't ever get to see Jesus' face.
Right.
Like the camera came behind him, beneath him. We got to see his feet. We got to feel his presence. But in this movie, you get to see Jesus portrayed by Rodrigo Santoro in a beautiful, strong, yet still performance. He's really dynamic in the role, I think.
How did you decide, or did you, in consultation with the filmmakers, decide to integrate Jesus into this story? He almost haunts Ben-Hur in this depiction, reminding him of really the last choice, the big choice he'll have to make to right his life, to right his family's life. Why include him in that way? The first time we see him, he's at a carpenter stall. Whose decision was that?
John Ridley. It's an incredible screenwriter who got the Academy Award for 12 Years a Slave, and wrote a beautiful script. And so that's where the choices are made. It's as they say, if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage.
Yeah.
And it all starts with a wonderful script based upon a wonderful book.
Yeah. What do you want people to take from this, Roma? Take away from this experience? It is, and we should tell people, you've mentioned it already, there is a kind of romp, adventure, high action. Two of these scenes are unbelievable.
Honestly, really, you inhale when that race begins, and those horses come hurtling down that track.
The galley slave.
And 15 minutes later, possibly, you exhale.
Fun now, brother!
It is really played out on a
Epic.
very high level of excitement. But I think it's this sort of deeper, haunting message that it's my hope that people just open their hearts to that, particularly the world that we're living in, both at home and abroad, that there is a deeper, more powerful story at play here.
And Mark, in this year of mercy that Pope Francis has declared, it's almost as if you got him on board as a early marketer here. That's at the center of this story, is really mercy, even when you've been wronged, even when someone has taken your family away from you. That's a hard lesson to imbibe for a lot of people.
Very hard lesson, and I would imagine everybody, including the Pope, who's a human, who nobody finds it easy just to be forgiving. It takes work.
Right.
And then you have to think of what is the motivation for forgiving. Well, the motivation, because the natural human inclination would be more so revenge.
Right.
So what is the motivation for forgiveness? Is that we're told by Jesus that if you don't forgive, you will not be forgiven. And therefore, if you're not forgiven, you just basically may be cancelling your ticket to heaven. So really, you should wake up and realize it's the only solution if you want to go to heaven. It's so is written. And so here's a story. If you know that, you'd forgive for that reason. Another possible reason, people who are not people of faith can watch this movie, identify with two fantastic, strong young characters who end up forgiving. And so maybe they would be forgiving to be copying the characters. So there's two ways to look at it.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful film. Thank you.
You wash ashore, shackled. You are an escaped prisoner. How long were you a galley slave?
5 years.
What is your name?
Judah Ben-Hur. My family was one of the most respected in Jerusalem.
Messiah, you'll always be my brother. I'm an orphan your father took in.
Until the Romans came.
Subversion will be met with crucifixion.
Down with the Romans.
Love your enemies. God is love. He has a path for you.
If he's already decided my path, how am I better off than a slave?
Why don't you ask God? And then we were betrayed. By my own brother.
You know we've done nothing wrong. Rome's calling for blood. I have to give them some.
Where are you taking him?
Humbly, love unconditionally. Thank you. You do the same.
The world you live in is Rome's. Their laws, their power. You cannot defeat them in the streets.
My family, they deserve justice for what's happened.
Should have stayed away.
You should have killed me.
I will.
It's faith that's kept you alive, Judah. Jesus showed you kindness when no one else would.
There is another way.
My life, I give it of my own free will. Teach us how to live humbly, love unconditionally.